Captain Jinho Park stood on the bridge of the exploration ship New Seoul, watching the stars through the large window. The ship was huge, carrying 2.3 million people who had left Earth years ago to find new homes among the stars. They had been traveling for months and finally reached the Kepler 442 system, where 3 planets looked perfect for human life. Jinho was proud of his ship and his people. The New Seoul was one of humanity's greatest achievements, a city in space that could travel between stars. Children played in parks inside the ship, while their parents worked in laboratories and factories. Schools taught the next generation about their new life among the stars. "Captain," called Mina Kim from her station. She was the communications officer, a young woman who had joined the crew straight from the Space Academy on Earth. "I'm getting a transmission from Earth. It looks like a general broadcast." Jinho nodded. "Put it on the main screen. Everyone will want to hear news from home." The bridge crew gathered around as the large screen flickered to life, but instead of seeing familiar faces from Earth, they saw something that made their blood freeze. Strange alien creatures filled the screen. Some looked like giant lizards walking on 2 legs with scales that shined like metal. Others looked like huge insects with many arms and glowing eyes. "Greetings, creatures of the galaxy," said one of the lizard aliens in perfect English. Its voice was cold and showed no emotion. "Today we present a special demonstration for your entertainment and education." Hyun Lee, the ship's chief scientist, moved closer to the screen. His face was pale as he watched. "Captain, this signal is coming from multiple sources across the galaxy. Someone is broadcasting this to every known species." The alien continued speaking. "The species you are about to see eliminated calls itself human. These creatures have spread like a disease across many star systems. Today we will show you how the Velkari Empire and the Hive Collective deal with such infestations." The screen changed to show space battles. Human ships, some that looked just like the New Seoul, were being destroyed by alien vessels. The attacks were not random or chaotic. They were planned and methodical, like farmers clearing weeds from a field. "No," whispered Mina, her hands shaking. "This can't be real," but it was real. The broadcast showed colony after colony being attacked. Jinho recognized some of the places. New Harmony, where his sister lived with her family. The Europa Station, where his old friend worked as a teacher. The generation ship Pacific Dream, which carried 500,000 people. Each attack was the same. The alien ships would surround the human settlements and demand surrender. When the humans tried to fight or flee, the aliens would destroy everything. They showed no mercy to anyone, not even children. Taehyun Choi, the ship's tactical officer, was studying his instruments with shaking hands. "Captain, I'm reading massive energy signatures from the direction of Earth. Something terrible is happening there too." The lizard alien appeared on screen again. "As you can see, these humans believe they are intelligent. They build ships and weapons. They think they can fight us, but watch how easily they die." The screen showed more destruction. Entire planets where humans lived were being bombed from space. The aliens used weapons that turned cities to glass and made the air poisonous. They were not just killing humans. They were making sure no human could ever live on those worlds again. 10 billion humans have been eliminated today," the alien announced with what sounded like pride. "Their expansion into our galaxy has been stopped forever. Let this be a lesson to any species that thinks it can spread without permission from the true rulers of this galaxy." Suyun Jung, the intelligence specialist, was recording everything. Her job was to analyze enemy communications, but she had never seen anything like this. "Captain, they're treating this like entertainment. Look at the alien observers in the background. Some of them are laughing." Jinho felt sick. The bridge crew was silent except for the sound of Mina crying quietly at her station. They were watching their entire species being murdered, while other aliens treated it like a show. The broadcast continued for 3 hours. The aliens showed the destruction of every major human settlement they could find. They had lists of human colonies that were more complete than anything Earth's government had. They knew exactly where to find every group of humans in the galaxy. "The human infestation will be completely removed within 1 solar cycle," the lizard alien said, as the broadcast neared its end. "No mercy will be shown. No survivors will be permitted. This species has proven it cannot coexist with civilized beings." The screen went dark, leaving the bridge in silence. Hyun finally spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. "Captain, I've analyzed the quantum signatures of that broadcast. It's authentic. This really happened. Taehyun checked his communications equipment again. Sir, I've been trying to contact Earth for the past hour. Complete silence. No response from any Earth station, military base, or government facility. Jinho realized the horrible truth. The new Soul might be one of the last human ships left in the galaxy. They had survived only because they were hidden in a thick nebula that made it hard for sensors to find them. What are your orders, Captain? Asked Taehyun. Jinho looked around at his crew. These people trusted him to keep them safe. Behind them, 2.3 million civilians were going about their daily lives, not knowing that their species might be extinct everywhere else in the galaxy. We maintain complete radio silence, Jinho decided. No transmissions of any kind. We stay hidden in this nebula until we can figure out what to do next. But Captain, Mina protested, there might be other survivors who need help, other ships like ours that escaped. If we broadcast, the aliens will find us, Jinho explained. Right now, they think they killed everyone. That's our only advantage. Hyun was studying the alien broadcast data. Captain, I need to analyze this more carefully. These aliens made several references to human technology and capabilities. They seem to know a lot about us, but there might be things they don't understand. Do whatever you need to do, Jinho told him. Everyone else, we need to prepare for the possibility that we're alone. We need to be smart and careful if we're going to survive. As the crew began their work, Jinho stared out at the stars. Somewhere out there, 10 billion humans had died today. Families, friends, entire civilizations had been wiped out while aliens watched and cheered. But humans were still alive on the new Soul. And if Jinho had learned anything from human history, it was that humans were very good at surviving when everyone thought they were dead. They were even better at making their enemies regret counting them out too early. The aliens had made a mistake by broadcasting their victory to the galaxy. They had shown their weapons, their tactics, and their attitudes. They thought the war was over, but Jinho suspected it might just be beginning. He would keep his people safe and hidden while they figured out their next move. The aliens wanted to eliminate humanity, but they had missed at least one ship, and sometimes, Jinho thought grimly, one ship was all it took to change everything. 3 weeks had passed since the terrible broadcast. Captain Jinho Park kept the new Soul hidden deep in the nebula, while his crew worked day and night to learn more about what had happened to their species. Suyun Jang sat in the intelligence center, surrounded by screens showing alien communications. She had been listening to enemy radio signals for weeks, trying to understand what the aliens were planning next. Her eyes were red from lack of sleep, but she could not stop working. Captain, you need to see this, Suyun called over the ship's communication system. Jinho arrived quickly, followed by Hyun Lee and Taehyun Choi. The intelligence center was dark except for the glow of computer screens showing alien text and symbols. What did you find? Jinho asked. Suyun pointed to her main screen. I've been tracking alien military communications. The good news is they think they killed everyone. The bad news is they didn't actually destroy Earth. The others leaned forward to look at the data. Suyun had translated several alien messages that told a different story than the broadcast. According to these reports, Earth was conquered, not destroyed, she explained. The aliens are using it as what they call a specimen preservation facility. They're keeping some humans alive for research and entertainment. Taehyun studied the tactical information. How many survivors are we talking about? The aliens mentioned keeping approximately 50 million humans alive on Earth, Suyun said. They're being held in what the aliens call habitat zones in major cities. Hyun was analyzing the technical data. This doesn't make sense from a military perspective. Why keep prisoners when they want to eliminate our species? Because they're arrogant, Suyun replied. The aliens see humans as interesting animals. They want to study us and use us for entertainment. They think we're too primitive to be a real threat. Meanwhile, on Earth, something very different was happening than what the aliens reported to each other. Deep beneath the city of Seoul, in tunnels that had once been part of the subway system, Donghyuk Nam was leading a meeting of resistance fighters. The underground room was lit by stolen alien technology, and maps of the city covered every wall. The aliens control the surface, but they don't understand our cities, Donghyuk explained to the group of fighters around him. They think the subway tunnels are just for transportation. They don't know we've been connecting them to natural caves and old military bunkers. Yoonji Shin, who had been an engineer for the Seoul Metropolitan Government before the invasion, spread out building plans on the table. We've created a network that spans the entire planet. Every major city has underground connections now. The aliens can't track us because we're using their own technology against them. The resistance had grown much larger than the aliens realized. When the invasion began, some humans had received early warning and gone underground immediately. They had been preparing for this war while the aliens thought they had already won. Wu Jin Kang, a quantum physicist who had escaped from an alien research facility, was working on something the enemies never expected. In a hidden laboratory built inside an abandoned subway car, he was taking apart alien devices and learning how they worked. The aliens think they're advanced, but their technology isn't magic, Wu Jin explained to his team of scientists. It's just science we haven't learned yet. And humans are very good at learning. His laboratory was full of alien weapons, computers, and communication devices that had been stolen during resistance raids. Each piece of technology taught them more about how to fight their enemies. Seo Hyun Yu had been a special forces soldier before the invasion. Now she led the most dangerous missions, sneaking into alien facilities to rescue human prisoners and steal enemy equipment. Her team was small but extremely skilled. Tonight we hit the research center in Gangnam, Seo Hyun told her squad. Intelligence says they're holding 300 humans there for medical experiments. We get them out and bring back any alien tech we can carry. Her team had successfully completed 17 rescue missions. Each time they learned more about alien weaknesses and brought back technology for Wu Jin to study. The aliens had made several critical mistakes. They assumed humans would act like other species they had conquered. Most alien species surrendered completely when their military was defeated. They did not continue fighting from underground. The aliens also did not understand human psychology. They thought keeping some humans alive as prisoners would prevent resistance. Instead, it gave the underground fighters a constant supply of rescued people who knew exactly how the aliens operated. Back on the New Seoul, Suyeon made another important discovery. Captain, I'm picking up coded messages hidden in what looks like alien propaganda broadcasts, she announced. Someone is using the alien communication system to send secret messages. Yeon examined the data. These quantum encryption patterns are definitely human. Someone on Earth is trying to contact any surviving ships. Jinho felt hope for the first time in weeks.
Can you decode the messages?
I'm working on it, Suyeon replied. But the fact that these messages exist means the resistance on Earth is much more organized than the aliens think. The coded messages were coming from Jihoon-oh, a former government cryptographer who was now part of the underground resistance. He had been hiding messages in alien broadcasts for weeks, hoping that human ships in space would notice them. The messages contained coordinates for hidden meeting points and a simple phrase that kept repeating, Operation Phoenix Rising, stand by. On Earth, the resistance was preparing for something much bigger than rescue missions. In underground bases across the planet, humans were building weapons specifically designed to fight aliens. They had learned about alien biology from the research facilities they had raided. Dr. Yuna Ryu, a xenobiologist who had been studying alien life forms, had made important discoveries about alien weaknesses. She worked in a laboratory hidden beneath Seoul's Noryangjin fish market, where the smell of fish helped hide the chemical odors from her research. The Velkari have a weakness in their respiratory system, she explained to the resistance leadership. If we can create an airborne agent that targets their specific biology, we can neutralize entire groups without harming humans. Min Ho-cha, who had been South Korea's Minister of Defense before the invasion, was coordinating resistance activities worldwide. Through hidden communication networks, he stayed in contact with underground fighters in every major city on Earth. The aliens think they're hunting scattered survivors, Minho said during a video conference with resistance leaders from around the world. They don't realize we're an organized military force that's been preparing for months. The resistance had advantages the aliens did not expect. Humans knew Earth better than any invader could. They understood the planet's geography, weather patterns, and hidden places. They also had something the aliens did not understand: the ability to work together even when their official government was gone. Ji-won Song, a brilliant engineer who had escaped from an alien labor camp, was developing new weapons using a combination of human engineering and stolen alien technology. Her workshop was hidden in the subway tunnels beneath the Han River. We're not trying to match their firepower, Ji-won explained to her team. We're building weapons that exploit their specific vulnerabilities. Smart, targeted strikes that will do maximum damage with minimum resources. As the weeks passed, the resistance grew stronger while the aliens became more comfortable. The invaders believed their victory was complete and began focusing on other parts of the galaxy. They reduced their security on Earth and started treating their human prisoners as entertainment rather than potential threats. This was exactly what the resistance wanted. While the aliens celebrated, humans were learning, adapting, and preparing. The broadcast that had seemed like the end of humanity was actually just the beginning of a very different kind of war. The aliens had made the mistake of leaving survivors. And those survivors were about to remind the galaxy why humans had spread to so many star systems in the first place. After 2 months of silence, Captain Jinho Park was beginning to lose hope. The new soul remained hidden in the nebula, while his crew monitored alien communications and searched for any sign of human survivors elsewhere in the galaxy. Then everything changed. Ji-hoon Oh, who served as the ship's cryptographer, had been analyzing the hidden messages that Suyeon found in alien broadcasts. He worked for days without sleep trying to break the complex code that someone on Earth was using. "Captain," Ji-hoon called out suddenly, his voice full of excitement. "I've decoded the message. Its coordinates and a phrase. Operation Phoenix Rising, stand by." Jinho studied the coordinates on Ji-hoon's screen. They pointed to a moon in the outer edge of the solar system, a place that showed up on star charts as dead and empty. "That moon was surveyed years ago," Eon said, checking the ship's database. "No atmosphere, no resources, no reason for anyone to go there. Which makes it perfect for hiding," Taehyun observed. "If I wanted to build a secret base, that's exactly where I'd put it." Jinho made a decision that would change everything. "Set course for those coordinates. Keep us hidden, and be ready to jump to faster-than-light travel if we detect any alien ships." The journey took 3 days. As they approached the coordinates, their sensors detected something impossible. Artificial structures built inside the moon's largest crater, hidden from normal space traffic by the crater walls. "Captain, I'm getting a human identification signal," Mina reported. "Someone down there knows we're here." A face appeared on their communication screen. It was a man in his 50s wearing a military uniform that Jinho recognized as belonging to Earth's Space Defense Force. "Captain Park, I'm Admiral Sunho Bay. Welcome to Lazarus Base. We've been waiting for you." Within hours, Captain Park and his senior staff were aboard a shuttle heading for the secret base. As they landed, Jinho could hardly believe what he saw. The hidden facility was enormous, built into natural caverns that had been expanded with human engineering and alien technology. Admiral Bay met them at the landing pad. His face was tired but determined, like someone who had been fighting a war for months without rest. "How many survivors are there?" Jinho asked immediately. "More than the aliens think," Bay replied. "Come with me. There's a lot you need to know." They walked through corridors filled with activity. Scientists worked at computers displaying alien technology designs. Engineers built weapons that combined human creativity with captured alien materials. Medical teams treated rescued prisoners who had escaped from alien facilities. Admiral Bay led them to a large conference room where several other people were waiting. Jinho recognized some faces from news broadcasts he had seen before leaving Earth. "Captain Park, meet the survivors of Earth's leadership," Bay said. "We've all been declared dead by the aliens, which is exactly what we wanted." Min-ho Cha, the former defense minister, stepped forward. "Captain, the broadcast you saw was real, but it wasn't the complete story. We received early warning about the alien attack." Dr. Yuna Ryu, a woman with intelligent eyes and hands stained with chemicals, explained further. "I had been studying intercepted alien communications for months before the invasion. We knew they were planning something, but we didn't know how big it would be. When we realized the scale of the attack, we had just enough time to implement Protocol Lazarus," Admiral Bay continued. "We made the destruction look complete while secretly evacuating our most important people and technology." They showed Captain Park recordings of the real battle for Earth. While the aliens destroyed many cities and killed millions of people, the human military had been deliberately losing battles while evacuating survivors to hidden bases. "We let them think they won completely," Minho explained. "Every time they demanded surrender from a human facility, we made sure the surrender looked desperate and final. They never suspected we were buying time to get people to safety." Ji-won Song, whose engineering expertise had been crucial to building the hidden bases, brought up holographic displays showing the scope of their operation. We have 37 hidden facilities throughout the solar system. Each one is invisible to alien sensors and completely self-sufficient. But how did you hide so many people? Hyun asked. We didn't hide everyone, Dr. Yuna said sadly. Millions really did die in the attacks. But we saved everyone we could, and we made the aliens think those deaths represented our entire species. The plan had been incredibly risky. They had to allow real destruction and real deaths to make the deception convincing. But it had worked. The aliens believed they had eliminated humanity while the real human leadership prepared for a counterattack. What about the resistance on Earth? Suyeon asked. We've been monitoring alien communications about human prisoners. Admiral Bay smiled for the first time since they had met him. The prisoners on Earth are part of the plan. Many of them are volunteers who stayed behind to gather intelligence and prepare for the next phase of our operation. They explained how the resistance on Earth was much more organized than it appeared. The aliens thought they were dealing with scattered survivors, but the underground network was actually a military operation coordinated from the hidden bases. Dong-hyuk Nam and his people aren't just hiding, Minho said. They're the advanced team for Operation Phoenix Rising. Every raid they conduct, every piece of alien technology they steal, every prisoner they rescue. It's all part of preparing for a coordinated strike. Captain Park was amazed by the scale of the deception. How many aliens know the truth? None of them, Dr. Yuna replied. They're so arrogant that they never question their easy victory. They think humans are too primitive to deceive them. Jiwon brought up displays showing captured alien technology. While they've been celebrating, we've been learning. We now understand their weapons, their ships, and most importantly, their weaknesses. The hidden bases had become centers of rapid technological development. Human scientists had reverse-engineered alien technology at a speed that would have been impossible under normal circumstances. Desperation had made them incredibly creative and resourceful. We've identified critical vulnerabilities in both the Velkari Empire and the Hive Collective, Dr. Yuna explained. The Velkari have respiratory systems that can be targeted with biological weapons. The Hive Collective's shared consciousness can be disrupted with quantum interference. Admiral Bay activated a galaxy-wide display. Captain, the New Soul isn't the only human ship that survived. We've been in contact with 43 vessels that escaped the initial attacks. Like you, they've been hiding and waiting for orders. Jinho stared at the display showing the locations of hidden human ships throughout the galaxy. Each one had followed similar survival strategies, staying silent and hidden while the aliens believed they had achieved total victory. What's the plan? Captain Park asked. Operation Phoenix Rising is a coordinated strike designed to cripple the alien command structure across the entire galaxy. Admiral Bay explained. We'll hit them simultaneously at their most important facilities while they're least prepared. Minho showed tactical displays of alien military bases and command centers. They've spread their forces thin because they think the war is over. Most of their ships are engaged in colonizing former human worlds instead of military operations. The New Soul has a crucial role, Admiral Bay continued. You'll be responsible for neutralizing the Velkari command ship in the Vega system. It's their primary coordination center for this region of the galaxy. Dr. Yuna handed Captain Park a sealed container. This contains biological agents specifically designed to target Velkari physiology. Combined with the quantum virus we've developed for the Hive Collective, these weapons will give you a significant advantage. As the briefing continued, Captain Park realized that the apparent extinction of humanity had been the beginning of the most sophisticated military deception in galactic history. The aliens had been so confident in their superiority that they had never considered the possibility that their victims might be intelligent enough to fake their own deaths. When do we strike? Jinho asked. Admiral Bay checked his chronometer. In 72 hours. Every hidden base, every resistance cell, every surviving ship will attack simultaneously. The aliens will go from thinking they rule the galaxy to fighting for their lives in a matter of minutes. And after that? Captain Park asked. Minho's expression was grim but determined. After that, the galaxy learns what happens when you threaten humanity's children. The New Soul moved silently through space toward the Vega system. Captain Jinho Park stood on the bridge, watching the tactical displays that showed their target. A massive Velkari command ship that served as the regional headquarters for the alien occupation forces. 72 hours had passed since the meeting at Lazarus Base. Now, Operation Phoenix Rising was about to begin. Across the galaxy, hidden human forces were moving into position for the most ambitious military operation in human history. Captain, we're receiving final confirmation signals from the other strike teams. Mina Kim reported from her communications station. All 43 ship groups are in position. Taehyun Choi studied the tactical readouts from their target area. The Valkyrie command ship is exactly where Admiral Bay said it would be. It's massive, easily 10 times the size of the New Sol, but it's also completely undefended. They're not expecting any threats. In the ship's laboratory, Dr. Yuna Ryu was making final preparations for the biological weapon that would target the Valkyrie aliens' respiratory systems. She had spent months studying captured alien specimens to understand their weaknesses. The delivery system is ready, she reported to Captain Park through the ship's communication system. Once we penetrate their hull, this weapon will spread through their air circulation system within minutes. It's designed to be lethal to Valkyrie but harmless to humans. Meanwhile, Hyun Lee was working with the quantum virus that would attack the Hive Collective's shared consciousness network. The insectoid aliens relied on mental connections between all their individuals, which made them powerful but also vulnerable. If this works correctly, their drones will lose coordination and start attacking each other, Hyun explained. Without central control, their entire military structure will collapse. On Earth, the resistance was preparing for their part of the operation. Dong-Yuk Nam stood in the underground command center beneath Seoul, surrounded by maps and communication equipment that connected him to resistance cells worldwide. All teams report ready, announced Yoon Ji-shin, who was coordinating the technical aspects of the uprising. The charges we've been secretly installing in alien facilities over the past months are all in position. The resistance had been incredibly patient and clever. Every time they rescued prisoners from alien facilities, they had also planted small explosive devices in the alien equipment. The aliens never suspected that their own infrastructure had been turned into weapons against them. Seo Hyun. Yu was leading the strike team that would attack the main alien command center in Seoul. Her soldiers were equipped with weapons that combined human military tactics with captured alien technology. Remember, we need to move fast, she told her team. Once the explosions start, we'll have maybe 20 minutes before they realize this is a coordinated attack across the entire planet. In underground facilities around the world, other resistance teams were preparing similar strikes. The aliens had spread their forces across all of Earth's major cities, thinking it would help them control the planet better. Instead, it had given the resistance targets everywhere. Wu Jin Kang was in his hidden laboratory, making final adjustments to the human-designed weapons that would be used in the attack. His team had created devices that specifically exploited weaknesses in alien technology. Their energy shields are designed to stop their own weapons, he explained to his assistants. But our weapons use different principles. Their shields won't be effective against what we've built. Back on the New Sol, Captain Park received the final signal from Admiral Bay. Operation Phoenix Rising is now active. All units begin your attacks immediately. Helm, take us in, Captain Park ordered. Communications broadcast our message to the Valkyrie command ship. Mina activated the communication system. The message that appeared on the alien ship's screens was simple but terrifying. This is humanity. We're not dead, and we're very angry. The New Sol emerged from the asteroid field where it had been hiding and moved toward the massive Valkyrie ship. The aliens were completely unprepared for an attack. Their shields were down and most of their weapons were powered off. They're trying to raise shields, Taehyun reported, but our quantum disruptors are interfering with their systems. The human ship fired specially designed missiles that penetrated the alien hull and began releasing Dr. Yuna's biological weapon. At the same time, Hyun activated the quantum virus that would attack the Hive Collective ships in the area. Biological agent is spreading through their ship, Dr. Yuna reported. Valkyrie life signs are dropping rapidly. Quantum virus is active, Hyun added. The Hive Collective drones are losing coordination. They're starting to fire on each other. On Earth, explosions began erupting simultaneously across the planet. Every major alien facility was hit by the charges that the Resistance had been secretly installing for months. Command centers, weapons factories, and communication hubs were destroyed in a matter of minutes. Phase 1 complete, Dong-Hyuk announced from the underground command center. All primary targets have been neutralized. Beginning Phase 2. Resistance fighters emerged from subway tunnels, caves, and hidden bunkers across the planet. They had been preparing for this moment for months, and now they moved with the precision of a professional military force. Seo Hyun led her team through the streets of Seoul toward the alien command center. The building was already damaged by the explosions, and alien soldiers were confused and disorganized. "Take the building," she ordered. "Capture any aliens you can for intelligence, but prioritize the communication equipment." Similar attacks were happening in every major city on Earth. The aliens had thought they were dealing with scattered rebels, but suddenly they faced a coordinated planetary uprising. In space around the Vega system, other human ships were attacking Valkyrie and Hive collective vessels throughout the region. The aliens had spread their forces across multiple star systems, thinking it would help them maintain control. Instead, it meant they couldn't concentrate their defenses anywhere. "Captain, we're receiving reports from the other strike teams," Mina announced. "The attacks are succeeding everywhere. The aliens are completely caught off guard." The Valkyrie command ship was now silent. Dr. Yuna's biological weapon had eliminated the crew, while Hyon's quantum virus had disabled their allies from the Hive collective. The humans had captured the most important military facility in this region of the galaxy, without losing a single person. "Boarding teams, secure that ship," Captain Park ordered. "We need their communication systems and any intelligence we can find." Across the galaxy, similar victories were being reported. Hidden human ships were emerging from asteroid fields, gas clouds, and nebulae to attack alien facilities that had been left virtually undefended. On Earth, the resistance was taking control of every major city. The aliens who had survived the initial explosions were surrendering or fleeing. Many of them had never seen humans fight as an organized military force and were shocked by their effectiveness. "Sir, we're intercepting alien communications," Suyon reported from the intelligence station. "They're calling for reinforcements from across the galaxy. They finally realize this isn't a few scattered rebels." "Let them call for help," Captain Park replied. "By the time their reinforcements arrive, we'll be ready for them too." Admiral Bay's voice came through the communication system from Lazarus Base. "All strike teams. Phase 1 of Operation Phoenix Rising is complete. Begin Phase 2 immediately." Phase 2 involved something the aliens had never expected. Human ships that had been hiding for months suddenly began broadcasting across the galaxy. But they weren't calling for help or negotiating surrender. Instead, they were sending a message to every alien species that had watched the entertainment broadcast of human extinction months earlier. Jihoon O was coordinating the galactic broadcast from the captured Valkyrie command ship. The message would reach every corner of known space, just like the alien broadcast that had started this war. "Galactic broadcast is ready." "Captain," he announced. "Send it," Captain Park ordered. The message that went out across the galaxy was simple, but carried a threat that no alien species could ignore. "You watch 10 billion humans die for your entertainment. Now you're going to learn what happens when you hurt humanity's family." The aliens had made the mistake of leaving survivors, and those survivors had just reminded the galaxy why humans had been able to spread to so many star systems in the first place. They were not just intelligent and adaptable, they were absolutely ruthless when defending their own people. The war was far from over, but the balance of power had just shifted dramatically. The aliens were about to learn that humans were much more dangerous than they had ever imagined. The galaxy was in chaos. What the alien coalition had thought was their greatest victory had become their worst nightmare in less than 24 hours. Across hundreds of star systems, alien commanders were sending desperate messages asking for help against an enemy they had believed was extinct. Captain Jinho Park stood on the bridge of the captured Valkyrie command ship, now renamed the Phoenix. Through the massive windows he could see human ships that had been hiding for months now, moving openly through space. The new Soul led a fleet of liberation vessels toward their next target. "Captain, we're receiving surrender requests from 12 alien outposts in this sector alone," Mina Kim reported. "They're offering to release all human prisoners and evacuate our former colonies immediately." "Tell them we're not interested in surrender," Captain Park replied coldly. They had their chance to show mercy when they were winning. The human counterattack had been devastatingly effective. Dr. Yuna Ryu's biological weapon had eliminated Valkyrie crews throughout the galaxy, while Hyunlee's quantum virus had shattered the Hive Collective's coordination. Their two most powerful enemies were now fighting each other instead of working together. On Earth, Commander Donghyuk Nam stood in the former alien command center in Seoul, now flying a human flag. The resistance had taken control of every major city on the planet in less than 6 hours. The aliens who had survived were being held in the same prison facilities they had built for humans. Status report from all continents, Donghyuk requested. Yoonji Shin checked her communication screens. Earth is completely liberated. We've rescued approximately 47 million human prisoners and captured over 2 million alien personnel. The enemy infrastructure has been either destroyed or converted to our use. The speed of the human victory on Earth had shocked alien observers throughout the galaxy. The resistance had revealed that they were not desperate refugees but a highly trained military force that had been preparing for months. Seo-hyun, Yu was leading teams to secure alien technology from the captured facilities. Every piece of equipment would be analyzed and reverse-engineered to improve human capabilities even further. The aliens kept detailed records of every human colony they destroyed, she reported. We now have complete intelligence on their military capabilities, base locations, and planned operations. In space, Admiral Sunho Bay was coordinating liberation fleets from the hidden base that was no longer secret. Human ships were emerging from hiding places throughout the galaxy to reclaim worlds that had been taken from them. Phase 3 is beginning ahead of schedule, Admiral Bay announced to all human forces. We're moving from defensive operations to full offensive warfare. The captured alien communication networks were now being used against their former owners. Jihuno had broken their encryption codes and was intercepting every military message in the galaxy. Sir, the alien coalition is fragmenting, he reported. The Velkari Empire is blaming the Hive Collective for the security failures. Several smaller species are withdrawing from the alliance entirely. This was exactly what the humans had hoped for. The alien coalition had been held together by the belief that they were superior to all other species. Now that humans had proven they could fight back effectively, the alliance was falling apart. Dr. Yuna Ryu was analyzing captured alien biological data when she made a discovery that changed everything. Captain, you need to see this immediately, she called from the research lab. Captain Park found her staring at genetic analysis data from several alien species. What am I looking at? He asked. Proof that the aliens have been lying to the entire galaxy, Dr. Yuna replied. These genetic records show that they've eliminated at least 15 other intelligent species over the past 1,000 years. We're not the first victims of their pest control program. The evidence was overwhelming. The alien coalition had been systematically destroying any species that showed signs of rapid technological development or expansion. They presented it as maintaining galactic order, but it was actually genocide on a massive scale. We need to broadcast this information to every species in the galaxy, Captain Park decided. Let them know what really happened to their missing neighbors. Meanwhile, human liberation fleets were moving through the galaxy with unstoppable momentum. The New Sol, now serving as the flagship of the 3rd Liberation Fleet, approached the former human colony of New Geneva. Alien defenses are minimal, Taehyun Choi reported from the tactical station. They're evacuating as fast as they can load their ships. Let them run, Captain Park ordered. Our priority is rescuing human survivors and securing our colonies. As human ships reclaimed world after world, they discovered that the aliens had been less thorough than their broadcasts had claimed. Millions of humans had survived in hidden bunkers, underground colonies, and remote settlements that the aliens had missed. On New Geneva, Captain Park met with Sarah Chen, who had led the underground resistance on the planet for 8 months. We never stopped believing that Earth would come for us, she told him as they watched human ships landing at the spaceport. The aliens tried to convince us that our species was extinct, but we knew better. How many survivors do you have here? Captain Park asked. Nearly 3 million across the entire system, Sarah replied. We've been hiding in the mountains and underwater cities. The aliens controlled the major population centers, but they never found all of our settlements. This pattern was repeating across the galaxy. Humans had proven to be much harder to eliminate completely than the aliens had expected. Their adaptability and determination had kept communities alive even under the worst conditions. In the captured alien command centers, human intelligence specialists were discovering the full scope of the enemy's plans. Su Yanjiang was coordinating the analysis of captured data from dozens of facilities. Captain, we found their target list for the next phase of expansion, she reported. They were planning to eliminate 17 more species after finishing with humanity. The alien coalition had been planning the largest genocide in galactic history. Humans were just the first target in a campaign that would have eliminated most intelligent life in the galaxy. "We're sending this information to all the threatened species," Captain Park decided. "Let them know they're next on the list if we don't stop this coalition now." The response from other alien species was immediate and dramatic. Races that had remained neutral or even supported the coalition suddenly began switching sides. No one wanted to be the next target for pest control. Wu Jin Kang was leading teams of engineers to upgrade human ships with captured alien technology. The vessels that emerged from his workshops were faster, more powerful, and better defended than anything humans had possessed before the war. "We're not just matching their technology anymore," he reported to Admiral Bay. "We're surpassing it. Human engineering combined with alien science is producing results that neither species achieved alone." Within 6 months of Operation Phoenix Rising, the balance of power in the galaxy had completely reversed. The alien coalition was reduced to a few core worlds, while human liberation fleets controlled most of the major trade routes and communication networks. Captain Park stood before the Galactic Council, a gathering of representatives from every known intelligent species. The same alien leaders who had laughed at human destruction now sat in fear as he addressed them. "6 months ago, you watched my species being murdered for your entertainment," he began, his voice carrying to every corner of the vast chamber. "You thought it was amusing to see billions of humans die while you sat safely in your ships." The alien representatives shifted nervously in their seats. Some species that had openly celebrated human extinction were now begging for protection from their former allies. "But you made several critical mistakes," Captain Park continued. "First, you underestimated human intelligence and determination. Second, you left survivors. And third, you revealed your true nature to the galaxy." He activated a holographic display that showed the genetic evidence of the 15 species the aliens had previously eliminated. "These records prove that you've been committing genocide for 1,000 years. You present yourselves as the guardians of galactic order, but you're actually the greatest threat to intelligent life in the galaxy." Terrified alien representatives began speaking at once, offering treaties, reparations, and promises of peace. But Captain Park wasn't finished. "The human Galactic Republic is now the dominant military power in this galaxy," he announced. "We will use that power to ensure that no species ever again faces the threat of extinction for the crime of being successful." He paused to look around the chamber at the faces of beings who had once considered themselves superior to humanity. "You wanted to eliminate us because you were afraid of our potential. Now you're going to live with the consequences of that fear. Humanity is here to stay, and we have very long memories." The establishment of the human Galactic Republic marked the end of alien dominance in the galaxy. Species that had cooperated with human liberation efforts were welcomed as allies. Those that had participated in genocide faced justice for their crimes. Admiral Bay was appointed as the first president of the Human Republic, while Captain Park became the commander of the Terran Defense Fleet.